In this podcast episode, Dr. Stasha Gominak, a neurologist turned sleep coach, shares her groundbreaking insights into the connections between vitamin deficiencies, sleep disorders, and the gut microbiome. She challenges conventional sleep treatments and the widespread misunderstandings surrounding vitamin D and B vitamins, emphasizing the profound biochemical foundations of sleep and health. Through her clinical experience and research, Dr. Gominak introduces a novel approach called the Right Sleep Protocol, aimed at restoring healthy sleep by addressing underlying nutritional and biochemical imbalances. Dr. Gominak begins by critiquing the typical behavioral sleep treatments, such as blackout curtains, consistent bedtimes, and white noise, which she finds insufficient for many patients with chronic sleep problems. Despite patients adopting these methods, they often continue to experience fragmented sleep, headaches, or neurological symptoms. She observes that many of her patients suffer from abnormalities undetectable by standard measures, such as lack of deep or REM sleep, which points to biochemical and neurological dysfunctions rather than just behavioral issues. One of the central themes is vitamin D's true nature as a hormone rather than a mere vitamin. Dr. Gominak explains that vitamin D is produced in the skin through exposure to UVB rays and acts directly on brain functions, including sleep regulation. The misconception that vitamin D is just a vitamin has led to underestimating its role in human biochemistry and health. She highlights that vitamin D receptors are densely present in the brainstem, particularly in areas controlling sleep states, including rapid eye movement (REM) sleep, where the brain induces paralysis. Dr. Gominak delves into the neuroanatomy of sleep, emphasizing the brainstem's pivotal role in controlling sleep and wakefulness cycles. Different sleep stages, from light sleep to deep, slow-wave sleep and REM sleep, are regulated here. During REM sleep, individuals experience paralysis mediated by chemicals like acetylcholine. Sleep disorders, including sleep apnea and narcolepsy, often relate to disruptions in this system. Her clinical observations reveal that many patients, including young women with daily headaches or stroke patients under age 30, have a loss or delay of REM sleep linked to deficiencies in neurotransmitters dependent on vitamin D. A major discovery Dr. Gominak shares is that vitamin D influences the production of acetylcholine by promoting the enzyme choline acetyltransferase in the brainstem. Acetylcholine is the primary neurotransmitter for the parasympathetic nervous system, facilitating rest, digestion, and sleep processes, including REM sleep paralysis. Deficiency in vitamin D reduces acetylcholine synthesis, impairing the brain's ability to regulate sleep effectively. This biochemical insight connects neurological symptoms such as headaches, mood disorders, and insomnia with nutritional status rather than purely structural or behavioral causes. Drawing from thousands of patient cases, including women with postpartum depression, gestational diabetes, daily headaches, and chronic pain, Dr. Gominak recounts how vitamin D supplementation alone often improved certain symptoms and sleep, but was rarely sufficient. She describes two patient stories, one struggling severely with multiple symptoms who required very high doses of vitamin D, up to 30,000 IU daily, and B vitamins over several years, and another, more athletic and less compromised, who responded well to moderate supplementation. This illustrates the necessity for personalized treatment protocols and blood level monitoring, as fixed doses recommended by guidelines often miss individual biochemical demands. One of the episode's most compelling revelations is the relationship between vitamin D, B vitamins, and the gut microbiome. The B vitamins, critical for neurological function and energy production, are largely produced by gut bacteria, which rely on a healthy microbiome environment. Vitamin D deficiency alters the intestinal bacterial composition, reducing B vitamin production and creating a vicious cycle that worsens sleep and other symptoms. Dr. Gominak explains how she inadvertently induced B vitamin deficiencies in patients after prolonged vitamin D supplementation, leading to side effects like burning sensations and pain, which were relieved by targeted B vitamin therapy. Based on her discoveries, Dr. Gominak developed the Right Sleep Protocol, a structured plan to restore sleep health by addressing vitamin D and B vitamin deficiencies in stages. It involves raising vitamin D levels to a personalized target usually above 60 nanograms per milliliter, supplementing B12 if deficient, and administering a balanced B complex, B50, for a limited period, followed by a maintenance multivitamin regimen. She underscores the importance of meticulous monitoring of blood levels and symptoms, as oversupplementation can cause insomnia or agitation. The protocol advocates for supplementing only when deficiencies exist and stresses the body's eventual return to balance and self-regulation when the gut microbiome and nutritional status normalize. Dr. Gominak highlights that vitamin D supplementation is not equivalent to natural sunlight exposure, which produces not only vitamin D, but also a spectrum of other biologically important molecules via skin photochemistry. She points out that modern lifestyles characterized by extensive indoor living, sunscreen use, and reduced sun exposure have precipitated widespread vitamin D deficiencies and associated health issues. Moreover, sunlight's near-infrared and other wavelengths contribute energy to the body's cells beyond what supplements can provide. Thus, she advocates spending more time outdoors as a natural and foundational health strategy. Addressing common concerns about vitamin D production in cloudy climates or for different skin types, Dr. Gominak explains the evolutionary adaptation of lighter skin, redheads for example, designed to optimize vitamin D synthesis in low UV environments like Northern Europe. However, migrating these phenotypes to high UV environments poses risks of overexposure and skin damage. She notes that despite seasonal and geographic variability, some UVB penetrates clouds, allowing partial vitamin D synthesis, but blood testing remains the most reliable measure of individual status. Lighting conditions through windows do not facilitate vitamin D production, reinforcing the need for direct skin exposure. Dr. Gominak elaborates on the gut microbiome's complexity, explaining that humans coexist with at least 200 distinct bacterial species, many of which produce essential B vitamins and other metabolites needed for neurological health and sleep. She critiques conventional views that frame bacteria as enemies, highlighting emerging medical practices like fecal transplants for Clostridium difficile infection. Feeding the microbiome through diet, especially with fermented foods like kimchi, yogurt, and sauerkraut, or through targeted supplementation with B vitamins, supports bacterial diversity and function, which in turn restores essential nutrient synthesis. Discussing dietary influences, Dr. Gominak describes how different diets, such as carnivore or plant-based regimes, shape the microbiome uniquely and require tailored nutritional approaches. She warns against high-carbohydrate diets that were historically linked to vitamin deficiencies, such as beriberi and pellagra, and advocates for individualized dietary strategies that foster a balanced microbiome. For many with entrenched deficiencies and sleep disorders, supplementing vitamins remains the fastest and most effective correction method while working toward dietary improvements and outdoor lifestyle changes. Dr. Gominak critiques modern medicine's reluctance to integrate hormone-level blood testing for vitamin D and B vitamins and personalized supplementation, describing it as an ongoing political and scientific controversy. She notes that fixed dosing recommendations without individualized monitoring can fail patients or cause side effects. Moreover, medical paradigms often overlook the deep biochemical and microbiome-based underpinnings of sleep disorders, relying heavily on behavioral therapy or symptom-masking drugs that do not address root causes. The discussion touches on serious conditions such as narcolepsy and obstructive sleep apnea, traditionally regarded as genetic or structural diseases. Dr. Gominak reports cases where biochemical optimization improved even these severe disorders. For example, acetylcholine deficiency is linked to narcolepsy symptoms, and nicotine replacement therapy, which mimics acetylcholine, has helped some patients, despite tobacco's negative reputation. This illustrates that many sleep disorders previously considered untreatable may respond to nuanced vitamin and neurotransmitter-level interventions. The episode also frames sleep disruption as part of a broader societal problem arising from the evolution of indoor lifestyles, amplified by artificial lighting, digital screens, and sedentary behavior. Exposure to natural daylight is crucial for regulating circadian rhythms through brain clock nuclei sensitive to light, but 24/7 screen time and reduced outdoor activity have created a circadian mismatch. These changes have culminated in increased sleep disorders, obesity, diabetes, and other chronic illnesses. The COVID-19 pandemic exacerbated this trend by forcing people indoors, further disconnecting them from natural light cycles and vitamin D sources. Dr. Gominak advises trying traditional behavioral methods for sleep hygiene first and resorting to supplementation only if these fail. She emphasizes recording symptoms and sleep quality in a journal to track responses thoughtfully. She offers educational materials and videos through her website, supporting patient empowerment and self-directed healing. For those aiming to optimize sleep or recover from chronic issues, she endorses her Right Sleep Protocol as a structured, science-informed path that combines supplementation with lifestyle measures directed at restoring biochemical and microbiome balance.